Okay, today I am going to start with a very fresh topic or very important topic in advanced management accounting, that is cost management section, that is which will cover 20% of your syllabus content. In the previous revision sessions, what we have done, what we have discussed, some revision papers we have taken and we have discussed past papers, and through the discussion of past papers we have identified, we have obtain some knowledge about some basic concepts about cost management. Therefore, I would like to start this session because some theoretical concepts and theory behind the revision content which we have learned already, I am going to discuss those important aspects in theory concepts. Okay. Cost management. Cost management. The syllabus weightage 20%. You have to focus on what are the most important areas, and when you are doing your studies, how to note down your important points in the syllabus content. Therefore, I will summarize what are the important areas through my presentation. I have summarized what are the key topics and important topics and what are the important you need to keep in mind. Okay, we will start with, there are 4 sections I have identified. Out of that 4 sections, first section we are going to discuss about modern manufacturing environment. You have to discuss about what are the techniques used in modern manufacturing environment. Those are most of them are theoretical concepts are there, you have to elaborate them. As an example, changes in modern manufacturing environment, previous manufacturing environment versus current manufacturing environment. As an example, I will take, in previous manufacturing environment what we have done, we have manufactured the goods and stored them, then released to the market. What we have done, we have manufactured what we want to manufacture, not what customer wanted. Now, nowadays the manufacturing environment has changed. Now we will manufacture based on customer requirement. We have customized our production. Likewise, there are some changes in manufacturing environment. We have to have an understanding about that. Therefore, in the changed manufacturing environment, what are the techniques they are using? How it will impact to the business operation, we have to learn. Therefore, under modern manufacturing environment, there are 7 topics we are going to, 7 subtopics we are going to cover. Changes in modern manufacturing environment, JIT and just in case, quality management with the quality cost, lean manufacturing, Six Sigma Kaizen, throughput accounting, backflush costing, MRP and ERP, those are theoretical concepts. That is section 1. As I said, there are 4 sections. 1.1, we are going to cover modern manufacturing environment. Modern manufacturing environment. Modern manufacturing environment. Modern manufacturing environment. Prior to start this lesson, I will give you a important, when you are doing your studies, how to arrange your studies. Put a short note of the theory concepts, then get to understand. You have to develop your own examples and then work out it and then keep in mind. Then no need to buy hard everything. What are the advantages of JIT system? What are the disadvantages of JIT system? Don't buy hard. Therefore, you have to note it down, then look at what it says. Okay, don't buy hard. Then apply into a practical scenario. Then those points you need to keep in mind. If you have related those concepts into a practical scenario, then it will be very easy to answer the question raised by the examiner. Therefore, this is not a selective learning. In this section, 20% coverage, we will cover vast area. Okay. Number 1, modern manufacturing environment. Under modern manufacturing environment, we are going to cover JIT, changes in manufacturing environment, quality related cost and quality management, lean manufacturing and Kaizen, throughput accounting, backflush costing and MRP and ERP. There might be some multiple choice questions in your examination as well. Okay. 1.2, very important lesson. activity based costing. Activity based costing. I have highlighted activity based costing is very important. Regularly 10 marks question will be there. There can be, it might be throughput accounting under modern manufacturing environment, or activity based costing, very specific topic. We need to understand what are the background behind activity based costing. It will be covered in the next session, but today we are going to cover modern manufacturing environment. That is one of most important theoretical aspect. Then ABC we will discuss. Then third one is strategic cost management and value creation. 1.3 strategic cost management and value creation. In this topic, in the strategic management and strategic cost management and value creation, we are going to discuss about value chain analysis. You can remember, if you are learned in strategic management process in previous old syllabus, you can remember value chain analysis. Under business value creation, you will learn about strategic cost management, this value chain analysis and all. We will discuss value chain analysis, basic supply chain management, target costing, life cycle costing, business process re-engineering, CPA, customer profitability analysis, and learning curve application will be discussed under strategic cost management and value creation. I think learning curve application I have already discussed under standard costing and variance analysis session. When we are going to discuss about planning and operating variances, I have discussed. I can remember. Okay. Anyway, I will touch up about learning curve application and learning curve theory. 1.4 environmental aspect. Aspects of cost management. I have seen several MCQ questions for their pilot paper question, the online mock examination, online examination, and the recent examination as well. And environmental aspect of EMA, environmental management accounting. Therefore, we have discussed about what is meaning of EMA, environmental management accounting, what are the methods we are using, like input, output analysis, flow cost accounting. Those topics will be covered. Okay, these are the 4 areas which are going to cover. These are broad areas. Remember, these 4 are broad areas we are going to discuss. Out of that, today we are going to start with this session, modern manufacturing environment. Okay. Therefore, it is very important. Therefore, theoretical aspects we are going to cover. Okay. First, we will start with modern manufacturing environment. What has happened to the traditional manufacturing environment? What are the changes happened? Therefore, when changes happen to the traditional manufacturing environment, therefore, you have to transfer or you have to adopt new technologies and you have to use new mechanism from traditional management accounting to modern management accounting. Okay, we will look at changes in modern manufacturing environment. It says traditional management accounting systems are allegedly inadequate for a modern business environment that focuses on marketing, customer service, employee involvement and total quality, and for the modern industry using advanced manufacturing technology. Therefore, due to changes in external environment, manufacturing practices also being changed. Okay. Since they have been changed, your traditional management accounting practices need to be changed. As an example, when you are going to determine a cost of a product, you have to think about what is the customer real requirement, what is their perception about the prices, what is the competitor's price. Okay. What are the alternatives available? You can't just calculate the cost and add a markup and you can't decide the price. You have, when you are in the modern manufacturing environment, you have to think about what are the value added activities, what are the activities which customer willing to pay. You have to analyze those things and you have to determine a competitive price with the competitive product. Okay. The main reason, now assume you want to buy an equipment, assume you want to buy a I will tell wristwatch. There are a lot of options available. Due to the globalization and increased competition, you can order it through the online stores. Different options are available. I will take a simple example. Nowadays, you are running, assume you are running a restaurant. Now, due to the change in technology and customer behavior, now customers are using, assume Uber or PickMe. They will place an order based on customer order you are going to produce, you are going to manufacture, you are going to serve the plate. Okay. Therefore, if you are running a restaurant like that, previous day what you have done is not relevant to the current context. Therefore, current practices need to be changed according to the environment change. Recent changes to the manufacturing environment, look at, there are 3 changes it has been highlighted. Globalization and increased competition. When competition goes up, what will happen? Your margin will dilute because customers have a lot of preferences. Therefore, if customers has lot of preferences, then you have to compete with some unique characteristics. 2. Information technology changes resulting in changes in production and information flow. Production flow has been changed due to change in information technology, and production flow has changed, and information, the way of information sharing also getting changed. Significant changes have happened even due to this pandemic also. We have rapidly changed our existing business structures because we had to adapt. Changes in organization including internal reorganization and external mergers. Therefore, if some entities have merged together and compete with their other competitors because due to the joint synergies. Therefore, those are the recent changes in manufacturing environment. Then, since manufacturing environment has changed, okay, under cost management, what is the purpose of, okay, first we will look at what is the meaning of costing. Costing, the meaning of, we are going to accumulate cost of a unit. We are going to accumulate cost of unit. Therefore, in cost management, when you are going to accumulate cost of a unit, you have to decide what are the techniques available to manage the cost of a unit. The previous technique which you have adopted is not relevant in the present context. Okay. Mass production, assume you are in a restaurant, you will prepare, assume if it is fried rice, you will prepare them and serve based on the customer order. But nowadays it is not like that. If you receive an order, then you will prepare the requirement, you will prepare the request. Therefore, then you need to look at what has been happened with compared to the previous scenario. Because organization culture change, organization structure change, organization operational change, you have to consider. There are different kind of new cost, type of cost will arrive. Therefore, some cost can be eliminated due to changes in the technology. Okay, we will see. Weaknesses in traditional management accounting. Number 1, limitation in cost reporting and product cost computation, use of absorption costing and standard costing. That is why I have told you. standard costing may not be relevant. That means in the standard costing, you will predetermine specification, but customers will order depend on the time frame, it will be vary because you can't be specified like that. Okay. On the other hand, in the modern context, since you are preparing based on customer order, you need not to have a significant amount of inventory you need to hold. As an I have given some example. If I take like this, we are calculating material usage variance, or we are valuing the inventories at standard cost, but in the traditional environment we are holding inventories. We calculate the economic order quantity, okay, economic order quantity, we calculate EOQ, what is the best economic quantity. But the modern context, you will order, you are not holding inventory in a JIT environment, like a JIT environment. You have to change your manufacturing practices. Therefore, absorption costing may not be relevant. Standard costing may not be able to follow because customers order different orders based on customers' requirement. We will manufacture the product. Okay. Financial measures are short term oriented and don't consider the qualitative factors of the operations. Okay, we will look at the cost of the product, how to minimize the cost, but traditional management accounting may not provide qualitative information. We are not evaluating qualitative aspect of the management accounting practices. That's why this balance scorecard evolved. Therefore, they say only financial measures are one perspective only. When it comes to the balance scorecard, I will take traditional management accounting only focus on financial measures. Financial measures. Financial measures. But this is not the only measure we need to consider. Due to the traditional, in order to survive in the market, you have to look at about the other qualitative factors as well. Okay, I will take an example. You are using internet. Rate offered by, you will consider the rate. Okay, that is a one financial. You will look at the speed, quality of the service they are being provided, the speed of the network. Those are the qualitative factors you are looking at. Therefore, by looking at financials, you can't say that I am in a good position. It's only one measure, but other measures also you have to consider, like customer perspective. How customers see us, customer perspective. It's a qualitative measures. Whether I have received now you can look at whether customer rating has improved or reduced. Customer perspective, customer complaints have gone up. Have you increased your market share or not? Then you have to look at about your internal business processes. Internal business processes. Internal business processes. And finally, what you have to think about, learning and growth. Learning and growth. That's why in the balance scorecard evolve, it should be into vision and strategy, linked to vision and strategy. Okay. In the balance scorecard, it look at financial and non-financial both. In the financial measures, only one measure out of those 4 measures introduced on the balance scorecard. Therefore, that's why traditional management accounting only consider about the financial measures. Now it has been changed. When you are going to evaluate the performance of a company, of a product, you have to look at about other qualitative factors as well. That is the most important thing. Therefore, traditional management accounting only look at the financial measures, not the other qualitative measures. Okay. Traditional management accounting performance measures can produce wrong type of response. We'll look at purchase price variance. I will explain like that. Now under standard costing, how to measure purchase price variance? Price variance measures what is the price you expect to purchase, and it will compare with actual purchase price. Okay. Material price variance. Material price variance. Material price variance equal. Okay. Material price variance equal. What you are going to do? How to calculate it? You will calculate, I will say budgeted price, so standard price. This is the price you are willing to purchase. Standard price minus actual price. Actual price. If you purchase 1 unit, this is the price difference. Okay, price variance. Assume you willing to purchase at 10 rupees. If you purchase at 8 rupees, 2 rupee is favorable for 1 unit of material. Then this will be multiplied into quantity purchased. Quantity purchased. Assume this particular material you can obtain a discount. In the normal scenario, you can purchase this price, standard price 10. Okay. Actual price will be 8 rupees if you purchase 10,000 or more. 10,000 or more. I assume 10,000. 6 rupees if you purchase 20,000 units. Okay. Then I want to convert this material price variance favorable. I will purchase 20,000. Okay, 20,000. Then this will be, I have budgeted to purchase at 10, actual purchase price 6. If I have purchased 20,000, then 80,000 favorable variance will be there due to the bulk discount. But if you, in order to get the price variance favorable, if you order bulk inventory at once, what will happen? Inventory might get obsolete, the holding cost will rise. Okay, you are investing, you are stuck your cash into inventory. Okay, that working capital requirement will goes up. Then මොකද වෙන්නේ? අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රමාණයට වඩා වැඩියෙන් order කරලා තියෙනවා. You have ordered more than required in order to get this bulk discount. Is it suitable now? In order to your response, in order to get favorable material variance, material price variance, what was your response? You have ordered a bulk at once in order to get a bulk discount. But on the other hand, it will create some unnecessary problems in your manufacturing practice. At the time, assume you are running a textile shop. That particular you are purchasing from somewhere else. Okay, assume a contractor and selling retail shop. Okay, that person says, if you purchase this particular type of frock, assume frock, if you purchase 1,000 units, I will sell it at 1,000 per each or 800 rupees each. If you purchase 2,000 or more, I will sell it at 500 rupees. Now you think, if the person says, okay, I will purchase 3,000 units of this particular frock, I will pay only 600 rupees per each. After you purchase, you have sold few items, but after 2-3 months, now your model, that particular model being outdated, new arrivals there, that entire stock become obsolete. Therefore, you might take wrong decision based on the traditional management accounting practice. Your price variance might have been favorable, but at the end of the day, you might suffer additional loss due to the inaccurate decision making. Labor efficiency variance encourage greater output, possibly excess inventory of the wrong products. Now you want to increase the output of the labors. Okay, labor efficiency variance become favorable. Then you pressure on the employees and make a huge stock of inventory, but it may not be required. Okay, those are the wrong implication of traditional management accounting. Therefore, when you are using standard costing, it may not be, some concept may not be relevant to the current practices. You have to explain. You should be able to explain why standard costing may not be relevant in modern management environment or modern manufacturing environment. You have to tell like that. Okay, just in time. Okay, under traditional management accounting to modern manufacturing environment, there is a concept called just in time. You might heard JIT. What is the meaning of JIT? It is a Japanese technique. It has introduced from Japan. What is the meaning of JIT? JIT management system, just in time. Just in time is a system whose objective is to produce or procure products or components as they are required by a customer for use rather than for inventory. That means simply, now even this particular slide is sufficient to get an understanding. You have to note it down. What is the meaning of JIT? JIT says, JIT manufacturing environment, JIT says zero inventory level. Zero inventory. That means you are not holding any inventory. Don't hold inventory. If you hold inventory, it will have a cost to the company. You have invested your working capital in inventory because it has not realized yet. Sometimes your inventory need to be insured. Sometimes if you made an inventory, if you hold the inventory, what will happen? It might get obsolete, it can be damaged. Okay. If you have sold it, there is no problem. You have received the cash. Therefore, if you keep inventory, mean you are holding cash in your warehouse. You have to sell them. Don't keep inventory. Inventory is a bad thing. Under JIT environment, it says you will manufacture based on customer's requirement. You will order the material when it is required. When it is not required, assume you are running a manufacturing company, you order material, you have maintained a maximum inventory level. Is it generate additional revenue holding inventory? No. Sometimes those material item might have been obsolete, damaged. You have to insure your entire stock. Then you have to pay huge amount to the insurance companies. But JIT system says don't hold any inventory. Manufacture when customer orders. Purchase when materials are required. Okay, the main concept in JIT says that produce when customer orders. Produce when customer orders the material. Customer request or orders. Produce when customer orders. Then procure or purchase, procure when material required. Material required. Don't hold inventory. That is JIT. Just in time production, it encourages to have a zero inventory level except a buffer stock for bottleneck resource. Assume there might be some bottleneck resource, mean limited resource. In a rare situation, is a limited resource. Bottleneck mean limited resource. Under that situation, you have to keep a safety stock, because if it is a rare material, I will take like this. Now these days the rare material, one of rare material is turmeric. Turmeric කියන්නේ කහ කුඩු කියන එක රත්තරන් වගේ. දැන් ඒකනේ කියන්නේ රන් කහවණු කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ you can imagine previously it was I don't know the prices, my mother will know that it might be assumed 200 or 400 rupees per kilogram. Nowadays it went up to 9,000, 6,000, 7,000, different prices they are selling at. What has happened? Okay, you have to look at it. Those are rare material. If they are rare material, if they are bottleneck resource, you have to keep a buffer stock for them. That is okay. Clear? Just-in-time production. Just-in-time production is a production system that is driven by demand for finished product, whereby each component on a production line is produced only when needed for the next stage. Just-in-time production, when you are going to manufacture, the component required for the production manufactured when it is required by the next stage. Assume when you are going to manufacture a product, the part of a component need to be produced. When it comes to reach to the stage 2, that item will be produced. Okay, I will take stage 1. Stage 1. Assume this is the product, then it goes to stage 2. Stage 2. Stage 1, okay, after completion of stage 1, there are some component need to be added. Components added to the product in stage 1. Then these components will be manufactured when it reaches stage 2. No need to produce at the beginning. You will manufacture the product when it reaches to the stage 2. That means the production requirement, the component required to the production will be manufactured when it is required for the production. Okay. Therefore, that means you are not holding inventory. High quality, speed, reliability, flexibility and lower cost are the operational requirement of JIT. I will separately discuss those concepts. High quality, you need to maintain speed. How to maintain the speed of the production flow, and reliability, flexibility and lower cost. There are 5 operational requirements in JIT. It will be discussed. JIT system considers as a pull system since production is carried out based on the customer's demand. Remember, JIT is a pull system. Production will be made based on customer requirement. Assume this is supplier, and here it is the manufacturing or production, and this is customer. Okay. Then pull system කියලා කියන්නේ මොකද? What is the meaning of pull system? Based on customer request the good. Customer request the product. Based on customer request, you have to make the production. In order to make the production, you have to order the material. Okay. Push system means you will manufacture what you want and transfer to the customer. There's a high chance of you losing market. අපිට අවශ්‍ය දේ manufacture කරලා දෙනවට වඩා customerට අවශ්‍ය දේ තමයි අපි manufacture කරලා දෙන්න ඕනේ. Then what will happen? If we supply what customer request, then you can capture the market. Customer driven. Therefore, just in time say this is a pull system. Okay. This particular system we call pull. Other method we call push. Pull system. Pull mean අපි ඇදලා ගන්නවා customer කින් තමයි අපිට demand එක එන්නේ. But push mean yes sending goods to the customers based what we can produce. අපිට production කරන්න පුළුවන් දේ අපි නිෂ්පාදනය කරලා customerට දෙනවා. But customer may not require that. We have to manufacture goods which customer request instead of which we can produce. අපිට පුළුවන් දේ නෙමෙයි හදන්න ඕනේ කස්ටමර්ට අවශ්‍ය දේ. Okay, other method we call push system. You will order the material based on your requirement. Okay, I will work out it as well. Supplier, production and customer. Based on your capability, you order the material from supplier. You will manufacture the product based on your ability, then transfer the product to the customer. This system called push system. Push system. Under push system, what has happened? We manufacture what we can produce, not what customer want. Therefore, JIT system says this is not what we have to do. We have to do what customer want. If customer want the product based on customer requirement, we have to deliver. Clear? There are so many practical examples regarding JIT about JIT manufacturing system. If you want to have a shirt or t-shirt, you want a customization based on your requirement, tailor will take the measurements. That is the pull system. Okay, in the tailor's perspective, you will give the suit or t-shirt based on customer's requirement. Okay, pull system, just in time. Therefore, just in time we call pull system instead of push. Pull. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි demand එක ඇදලා ගන්නවා. We are manufacturing good based on customer requirement. Okay, what I have said, 5 requirement when you are going to implement just in time manufacturing system, operational requirement of just in time manufacturing system. Operational requirement, 5 requirements are there. Now this is a kind of a short note. Then when you are preparing for your examination, go through this, then you can get a clear understanding how you are going to answer the question. Okay. Operational requirement. Number 1, high quality. That means JIT manufacturing environment, you have to maintain high quality. Since this is a Japanese technique, they use this just in time technique for their automobile companies. Just in time, Kaizen costing. Okay, when I come to Kaizen, I will explain. Disruption in production due to errors in quality will reduce throughput and also dependability of internal supply. You have to eliminate, if you maintain high quality in the production, disruption won't happen. Then disruption will happen when the inferior products being manufactured. They have to rework or they have to remove. If you take the quality material, if you use the quality production process, then automatically your production flow will operate with the high quality. Speed. Throughput in the operation must be fast so as that customer orders can be met by production rather than from inventory. That means when customer orders, we have to deliver it immediately. No need to hold in inventory. Speed of delivery. JIT production. I will take an example. This is very familiar with you all. Look at about Pizza Hut. When you place an order, within 30 minutes, they will deliver it to your doorstep. It is not kind of a restaurant. They have cooked or the foods and holding in the showcase. No, they will prepare it based on customer order and they are not holding inventory. Within 30 minutes, they will deliver it to your doorstep. There is no inventory holding time. There is no inventory at all. At the end of the day, there won't be any unsold food items like pizzas. Clear? Therefore, it will be delivered. දැන් හොඳට compare කරලා බලන්න. These are the practical example. Think about a petti kadi. They have the food item what they can produce, what they can cook. But pizza will provide pizzas based on your requirement. Okay, speed of delivery of the product, throughput should be immediately dispatched to the customer without holding them in inventory. Reliability. Production must be reliable and not subject to hold-ups. That means there should not be any disruption in production process. It should be continuously run up and down. That means up and running, not up and down, up and running. Your production process should be up and running with the reliability. Flexibility. Production must be flexible and small batch sizes to respond immediately to custom orders. That means based on customer flexibility means based on customer requirement, you should be able to customize it. I will take a pizza. Customer says, I want more cheese. I want more, assume, vegetable. Likewise, based on your requirement, there should be production process should be flexible to provide that product. That is the main important thing. Based on customer, even a small proportion, you should be able to provide it. That is called flexibility. Lower quality, even though high quality production, your cost will be minimized. Why? The speed of production is high, you are not holding any inventory, there is no inventory holding cost, your throughput will go up, and since there are no errors, zero errors, less errors, we won't create any additional cost. Your production cost will minimize. Those are the 5 operational requirement in JIT manufacturing environment. 5 operational requirement. Okay. Prior to 3 key, before going to discuss about key elements in JIT philosophy, keep in mind 5 operational requirement of JIT. 5 operational requirement of JIT, as I said, number 1, high quality need to be maintained. High quality. Number 2, speed. Number 3, it says about reliability. Fourth, it say flexibility. And finally, low cost. These are the 5 operational requirement. In a JIT environment, these are the 5 operational requirement. When we are going to discuss about JIT philosophy, there are 3 requirement. Okay, or 3 key elements. You can have a low cost, you have a reliable production process, you can deliver the product with immediately, that means with the speed, and you can maintain the high quality if you eliminate the waste. Eliminate the waste mean there might be some disruption, there might be some quality defects, then it will have a significant impact. Therefore, under JIT philosophy, key elements in JIT philosophy, 3 key elements. Number 1, eliminate waste. Eliminate waste. 3 key elements. Eliminate waste. There are different kind of waste there in the manufacturing process. Eliminate any activity which does not add value. Waste කියලා කියන්නේ අපත යනවා කියලා කියන්නේ ඕනම activity එකක් value addition එකක් කරන්න නැති එකක් අපි කියන්නේ non value added activity. Those should be eliminated. Look at waste from product defects. Okay, waste from product defect. If the product defects are there, your production line will be held up, your speed will be reduced, cost will be going up. Okay. Waste in production defects. Waste of time. In the production process, if the production being assumed there are some product defects are there, then you have to waste the time. If some interruption in the production process, you have no reliability, then what will happen? Your time will be wasted. Therefore, time wasting of time also one of area, one of waste you need to eliminate, wasting of time. As an example, in a bank, queue, the large queue of the customer, it wastes the time of the customer as well. Then what you can do? You have to introduce online banking. Then those queues won't be there, it will be disappear. Therefore, in the production process, you have to look at how I going to eliminate the waste in production. Look at the service industry, how we are going to implement JIT environment without going. Assume you are a accountant. You can work, if you can work anywhere else with the remote location. You can log into your system through the clouds. You can use cloud computing. Then why you waste the time to drive your vehicle to your office? You can work from home. Then it is a one kind of JIT management technique, JIT management technology, philosophy. You have to eliminate the waste of time. Okay. Third one, transportation waste. In JIT manufacturing, while we are transporting the goods, there will be some waste. Even look at about when we are transporting our fresh fruits and vegetables, what is the percentage they are wasting due to the transportation? Through the transportation there are wastages. Then how can we eliminate them? Definitely if it is eliminated, you can reduce the cost. Sustainable packaging will be required. Then you can increase the speed of the production manufacturing process. Transportation waste. You are going to dispatch the goods from one location to the other location. Okay. Inventory waste. As I said, if you hold high level of inventory, insurance cost will be there, damages will be there, obsolescence will be there, those will create additional cost. Therefore, inventory should not be kept. Then inventory waste from the inventory can be eliminated. Waste from overproduction. You have produced more than required. If it is not required, assume you expect customer, as a textile industry, one particular design you have manufactured 10,000, expect those particular design will purchase by 10,000, but the real market requirement only 5,000, balance 5,000 overproduction. It cannot be used anywhere, there you have to remove them. It is another waste. You have to produce based on demand. Overproduction will create a cost. Processing waste, while processing, as an example, while you are cutting clothes when you are in a textile industry, while you are cutting the clothes, there might be some deviation, overcut, undercut will be there. Therefore, you have, while doing the processing, waste should be eliminated. Those are the 6 types of waste. Waste of time, waste from the product defects, waste in transportation, inventory waste, overproduction and processing waste. Those 6 waste should be eliminated. Then all staff should be involved in the operation. Ice ගන්න කවුරුත් ඉන්න බෑ. කවුරුත් ඔක්කොම ටික production වලට operation වලට join වෙන්න ඕනේ. That is the other key element. Everyone should join to the operation. Everyone should involve to the operation. Should involve to the operation. Everyone should be participate to the operation and they have to do their respective jobs and their respective responsibilities. Continuous improvement is essential. Not big improvement, continuously you have to improve the time. Those days, can you remember when you place an order in Pizza Hut, it might have taken 1 hour time to get the order done. Nowadays, what has happened? Now, due to the continuous improvement, now they will deliver less than 30 minutes. Now, even within, it will guarantee, most 90% it will guarantee it will be delivered within 15 minutes. How fast they are, how they have improved a lot. Okay. Even now, even traditional restaurants also, they have changed. Continuous improvement, they have moved to the online platforms. Now their businesses they have catering to large market than earlier. Okay. Therefore, now they have more opportunities in particular business. Therefore, those are the 3 key elements in JIT philosophy. Third one say you have to use continuous improvement. This continuous improvement will help you to reduce the cost and offer a high quality product, and continuous improvement will reduce the time to manufacture. That means speed will go up and high reliability will be there through the continuous improvement. Therefore, these 3 key elements will help to maintain this operational requirement. Okay. JIT management techniques. In JIT management techniques, what are the techniques available to how we can implement just in time manufacturing? ඒ කියන්නේ JIT management system එකක් implement කරන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ මොනවද? What are the key techniques? What are the methodologies available to implement JIT? Okay. This particular section it might have been tested in the examination. Okay. Number 1, there should be working standard. You have to establish working standard. What you need to do, what standard you need to maintain prior to deliver a good product. As an example, prior to deliver as you are running a company, as consultancy firm, you have to give some reports. When you giving that report, you have maintain the required quality. You have to look at about typing errors. There are some grammatical errors. You have to check them, and there might be some, if it's a financial report, there might have been casting errors will be there. You have to adjust them. You have to have a maintain proper standard for your product or service you are offering. Number 1, working standard. Number 2, flexibility in responsibilities. What it means? If you want to implement JIT manufacturing or JIT environment, JIT system in the company, you have to assign the responsibilities based on the person's capabilities. If the employee doesn't have any capability to perform job, it is useless to assign more tasks to them or more tasks to that particular employee. But you have to identify what are the capabilities of each and every employee, assign the responsibility based on their capability. Got my point? අපි මෙහෙම කතාවක් කියනවා, assume you can't expect a CEO's role, from a junior employee, person who is clean the washrooms. Okay. You can't expect financial knowledge or financial reporting knowledge from a person like that. Therefore, based on their capabilities, you have to assign the responsibilities. අපි කියන හැකියාවට රැකියාවක් කියලා. අන්න ඒ වගේ. You have to assign the responsibilities based on their capability. Equality of all people working in the organization. Equality. That is very important. Why Japanese organization are very successful when implementing these techniques and how they have achieved more fruitful results. The main reason, equality. Each job is equal. There is no white collar job, there is no blue collar job. All people are doing a teamwork. Therefore, equality, each and every person have a same level of respect of. If they have the equality in the operation, then you can get more contribution towards the organization. Autonomy. Autonomy means simply it says independence. This delegation of authority to individuals directly responsible for the activities of the operation. That means you will be assigned some responsibilities. You are responsible for the decisions you are making. Each person should be responsible for the decision they are making, held responsible. Therefore, it is very important. Autonomy, that means delegation of authority is very important. Each and every person, if they are performing a specific task, they should take the responsibility for the task they are performing. Okay, that is called autonomy. Individual workers should be developed and trained. Assume employees are there, they have given the responsibility, but they need to train and they need to develop. They need to develop for the next step. Assume, look at about a service organization, you have the professional, trainees are there, they need to be developed to the next level. Continuous development should be there, they have to be properly trained. If you train them, if you develop them, organization will succeed, the next level will be there. If the next level is not there, what will happen? What has happened to the Sri Lankan team will happen same thing to the company as well. If you are not developing the next layer, if there is no second layer there, if there is no second, third layers, what will happen? If the top management retires, business will collapse. Therefore, we have to train our trainees or we have to train our subordinates into the next level. That is very important. The quality of working life. It should be improved through the job security, better work area facilities and involvement to the decision making process. Quality of working life. How to improve the quality of working life? Their job security should be there. Then they feel that my job is secure. If my job is secure, then I have a personal commitment to do my best to the company. If this job security is not there, at any time my job might be lost. My job එක ඕන වෙලාවක නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්, මම job security එකක් නැහැ. Anytime යන්න වෙනවා. Therefore, he will be prepared for leaving at any time. Then he might not give the 100% commitment to the company. Therefore, always need to ensure that job security will be there and they should be given the better working facility, work area facilities, and they should be involved in the decision making process. Creativity. මොනවා කරද්ද උදාහරණයක් විදිහට creativity කියන නිකන් දෙන්න බෑ. You have to encourage them, do new things, provide necessary equipments. They can do their own work in a creative manner. Okay, those are the most of JIT management techniques, main JIT management techniques. There are some other JIT management technique as well. It is there under lecture note here. You can read them. Those are the techniques you can learn, JIT management techniques. This is very important. Why? This particular area covers the significant part of cost management area under first section under modern manufacturing environment. JIT in service operation. Up to now we have discussed how we implement JIT in manufacturing company. In a manufacturing company එකක අපි කොහොමද කරන්නේ? අපි කොහොමද මේක implement කරන්නේ? කියන එක තමයි මෙතනින් අපි කතා කරේ. But how we are going to implement JIT in service operation? If it is a service operation, how we are going to implement this one? Assume you are running a bank. Can you imagine those days in a bank? There are long queues to withdraw money. There are long queues to deposit money. Where you might have get a experience when it comes to the New Year season. At that time, there are long queues. You have to deposit money. Nowadays, what has happened? Nowadays, no queues at all. You can deposit to the customer kiosk machine. Different places, those are available. They are readily available. You can withdraw money at any given of time. You can do any transaction any time you want through the online transfers, online SWIFT, SLIP transfers. Nowadays, there's no queues at all. Now it has been changed. Therefore, in the service industry, you have to look at how can I increase the efficiency and productivity. Here, JIT in service operation seeks to remove queues of customers. Customer queue තියෙන එක අයින් කරන්න තමයි target කරන්නේ. Queues require space for customers to wait in, and the space allocated to the customers will not add any value to the business. I will take this kind of example. If you have a bank, if you have a long queues, you have to give some spaces to customer to sit and wait. But that particular space will not add any value. You can run the bank with a small space if you have removed that particular space. You can remove that particular space. How? How we are going to remove that particular space? You can give more technique, you can give option to the customer. You can direct deposit to our customer kiosk machines. You can withdraw the money at any given time from the ATMs. You can do the transaction, you can deposit to another account through the online transfers. You can introduce a mobile app. Then what has happened? Queues can be eliminated. On the other hand, if there are long queues, then customer feel, I am losing so much of wasting of time. Then customer won't be comfortable. Then those are the things we have to think about when we are applying JIT. Therefore, JIT in service industry main focus is to eliminate queues in the service area. The workforce can be used more flexibility and move from one type of work to any other work. That means you need not to do the same task again and again. In a service industry, you can rotate one work to other task. You can easily be switched into one task to other task. That is JIT in service industry. Then we will discuss about manufacturing cycle efficiency. Okay, manufacturing cycle efficiency means once you receive the order, how long it will take to deliver the order to the customer. If it is close to 1, we are calculating manufacturing cycle time, and we are calculating manufacturing cycle efficiency. We are calculating if it is reached to 1 or close to 1, that means you are very efficient. Okay. Under manufacturing cycle time efficiency, we will discuss about customer response time. This is a measurement used to evaluate organization's ability to respond to the customer's request and how long it will take to provide the service. Customer's response time means after customer make an order, how long it will take to deliver the product. Customer response time. Okay. A customer, assume this is a Pizza Hut, this is a good example, that's why I am taking. They will place the order, they will contact you at 7:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. Then you have write down, okay, immediately ring, you took the phone, okay, get the order. Then it will be, now you have to deliver the product or goods to customer's doorstep. By 7:45 p.m. you have dispatched or delivered the product. Delivered. Only 15 minutes it has been taken. This is a measurement used to evaluate organization ability to respond to the customer request and how long it will take to provide the service. The udaharanaki, after you took a call, it says, okay sir, this is not handled by me, it will be handled by this particular department, you will transfer that. Okay, this is not handled by me, this will handled by this particular person, I am transferring. After saying that, he will transfer another, then customer response time will take more time. Okay, the length of time between order being placed and delivery of good service to the customer. Okay, metana order ekadame, this is the time order placed, then order delivered in 7:45 p.m. How long it has taken? Customer response time 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Order එක හම්බෙච්ච තැන ඉඳලා order එක deliver කරන්න කොච්චර වෙලාවක් ගියාද? That is we call customer response time. It has taken only 15 minutes. Then manufacturing cycle time. What is the manufacturing cycle time? After receiving the order, you have to manufacture the goods. After manufacturing the goods, how long it will take? Sometime after manufacturing goods, it will take some time. You have to you have a time to process the goods. You have to keep them into waiting time, moving time, inspection. After those, you will transfer the goods. Then if they take minimal time after the processing time, then value will be close to 1. Therefore, in the manufacturing cycle time, you have to look at how efficient our manufacturing practices. Therefore, under JIT system, you can measure manufacturing cycle time efficiency. We call manufacturing cycle efficiency. Manufacturing cycle efficiency. Manufacturing cycle efficiency. Under manufacturing cycle efficiency, we call MCE. How to measure the manufacturer cycle efficiency? We will measure it processing time divided by processing time divided by, there are some factors which affect to increase the manufacturer cycle time. Manufacturer cycle time එක වැඩි වෙන්න බලපාන සාධක කීපයක් තියෙනවා. එකක් තමයි processing time. In addition, other time there are waiting time. We call wait processing time plus waiting time plus moving time plus inspection time. Okay. Processing time divided by processing time plus waiting time plus moving time plus inspection time. There are 4. Okay. If this close to 1, that means you are very efficient. Assume processing time is, I will give some example. Processing time, I will say PT is 10 minutes. Okay. Waiting time 2 minutes. Okay. Moving time 3 minutes. Inspection time 5 minutes. Okay. How to calculate manufacturing cycle efficiency? Processing time 10 minutes. Okay. Processing time 10 minutes. Divide by processing time plus, that means 10 plus, waiting time 2, moving time 3 minutes, inspection time 5 minutes. 10 divided by, if you take the total 20, the value will be 0.5. 50% efficiency there. Assume if these waiting time, these are 0, if these were 0, this answer will be 1. If the answer is 1, that means 100% you are efficient, 100% efficient. Your target is to increase this manufacturing cycle efficiency to close to 1. එකම කරන්න බැරි වෙයි, but close to 1. You have to eliminate these are additional time. If you can reduce these times, waiting time and moving time and inspection time, if you can reduce them, you can increase the manufacturing cycle efficiency. It can be improved. That's how it will be calculated. Cycle time will increase when waiting time there, moving time and inspection time or any other time there to increase the manufacturing cycle efficiency. That's how we are computing that particular manufacturing cycle efficiency. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the difference between just in time versus just in case. Just in case means if the assume if customer order more quantities, we are maintaining inventories. That means that is more relevant to the traditional inventory management, just in case. Therefore, we are always maintaining an inventory level, but in just in time, we are maintaining 0 inventory level. Okay, you can compare just in case versus just in time. Low inventory levels in just in time. Why low inventory? What we are saying low inventory? There might be some bottleneck resources are there. At that particular scenario, we have to keep some buffer stock unless we are not keeping any inventory. But in just in case, we are holding a high level of inventory. It's similar to traditional inventory management or traditional management accounting. Low inventory level in just in time, high inventory level in just in case. May have production hold up due to low inventory. Just in time එක වෙන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් තමයි අපි order කරන්නේ based on customer requirement we are going to produce. At that time, material won't be available. Sometimes there might be some delay in shipments or some delay in transporting the material to your warehouse or manufacturing facility. But in just in case, should not have a production hold ups as inventory there is required, because you are keeping high level of inventory. Even there's some issue relating to supply of goods, there are some disruption in supply, but don't worry, because you are holding high level of inventory. That is called just in case. But just in time, you are holding a minimal stock only for critical material item or bottleneck resources. Others are you are not keeping inventory. Therefore, production flow can be disrupted. Low storage cost in just in time, because you are not holding much inventory, but high storage cost in just in case. Less working capital requirement. Working capital requirement එක අඩු වෙනවා. Why? You are holding lower level of current asset due to the lower inventory. Current asset වැඩි වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ working capital requirement එක වැඩි වෙනවා. Working capital requirement will goes up. If current asset falls, when inventory falls, current asset will fall. Then your working capital requirement will fall. Okay. But just in case, you are keeping a high level of inventory. When you keep high level of inventory, what will happen? What will happen? Working capital requirement will goes up. Higher working capital requirement will be there. Therefore, the difference between just in time and just in case, just in time you are holding high level of inventory, just in case, sorry, just in time you are holding a lower level of inventory, just in case you are holding high level of inventory. Okay, that is the first topic. Under first topic, we have discussed about just in time, just in case. Thereafter, we have discussed the modern manufacturing environment, what are the changes. Now, we are going to discuss about total quality management. Very important topic, TQM, total quality management. Total quality management. we call TQM. මොකක්ද මේකෙන් කියන්නේ? Getting it right first time and improving continuously. It's applicable to you as well. As a chartered student, you can't fail the exams, no. Do the right thing at the first time. What is the right thing? Right thing, you have to go through the study material, you have to go through the study packs, you have to go through these lecture notes, you have to practice more and more questions. Those are the right things. If you do the right thing in the first time, okay, you can get it done in the first time. No second option. There's no repeating exam. There's no repeat. You can pass the examination at once. What you need to do, you have to do the right thing in the first time. Okay, getting it right first time and continuous improvement. You have to improve yourself. In the production process also, we have to ensure that there is no deviation from the required quality. 100% efficiency will be maintained. If you maintain 100% satisfaction level, there is no defect items. Zero defects. Zero defect implies that you are doing the right thing. Therefore, in the total quality management, it says quality should ensure that you will maintain the required quality, 100% quality. Quality failures will result different type of cost that we call cost of non-conformance. We will discuss in later cost of quality conformance and cost of quality non-conformance. If you non-conform with the required quality standard, what will happen? There will be some defects. If you meet the required quality standard and if you maintain the required quality, if there is no defect at all, you can that means that is the total quality management. You always do the right thing, getting the right thing at first time. There is no second option, no rework. In the first attempt, you have to pass the examination. There are no option. That is TQM. That is the concept of TQM. What you need to do, what are the right thing to do? You have to study by yourself. You have to do some past papers. You have to use study pack. You have to refer the lecture materials what you have went through. You have allocated sufficient time to do your studies. Then automatically those are the right thing you have done in the first attempt, you will pass. Okay. The main focus of TQM is 100% satisfaction of both internal and external customers through the continuous improvement at all activities and processes. 100% satisfaction. Key elements of TQM include preventing the cause of defects in the first place, rather than relying on the inspecting to a predefined level of quality and aiming towards an environment of zero defect at minimum cost. That means prevention is better than cure. You have heard that, no? Therefore, TQM mainly look at prevention, the cause of the defect. If you prevent the cause of the defect, then you can maintain quality of the product. අපි කියනවා preventing the cause of defect. ඒ කියන්නේ defect item එකක් ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙන හේතුව මොකක්ද? හේතු සාධකය. Then if you found that, you can make the correction, you can correct it, then there won't be errors in future. That is the total quality management. You will identify, you won't allow to create low quality products. Okay. Key elements in TQM. Number one, customer is the only thing that matters. That means key element is TQM. Customer is the most important factor. Customer is king. TQM should focus, we have to satisfy our customer. Nothing else is important except our customers. Therefore, we have to focus. If we deliver quality output, we can satisfy our customer. All the processes, all the effort should be focused on customer is king. That is very important. Number 2, recognition of all pervasive nature of relationship with customers, suppliers and internal stakeholders. When you are going to implement TQM, you have to identify material relationship or pervasive relationship. Pervasive relationships. Pervasive relationships should be maintained. As an example, suppliers, if you are having a good relationship with supplier and supplier has loyal suppliers are there, then they will always deliver you quality inputs. If they deliver quality inputs, if they are not going to cheat you, then automatically you can maintain the quality of the output. That is very important. If you maintain good relationship with good relationship with the internal stakeholders like your employees, good positive relationship with them, then their commitment will be there and they always ensure to deliver a quality output. That is called maintain pervasive relationships. Quality should be predefined and inspecting to ensure preventing the cause of defect. You have to establish the standard. You have predefined the quality. Predefined the quality. Quality. You have defined what is the quality you expect. Then you have to identify what are the causes which affect to the quality of the product or service you are offering. Therefore, that need to be eliminated. The cause of defects you have to eliminate it. All employees will be held responsible for defect-free production or service in their duty. That means all employees, that means 0 defects should be there. All employees should be responsible to deliver a 0 defect product. All employees held responsible for quality products, product or service. To deliver a quality product or service, they are responsible, each and every employee is responsible to deliver a quality product. That is their prime responsibility. 0 defects with minimum cost, not calling 0 defect with minimum cost. Fifth one, 0 defects with minimum cost. 0 defects with minimum cost. There might be unavoidable miscellaneous things can be happen in not a regularly ad hoc basis, it can be happen. Then what you have to do, you have to rectify them with the minimum cost. Cost will be higher if there are a lot of defects in your products. And aim to eliminate waste. Wastage, as I said earlier, in JIT environment also, you need to eliminate the waste. There are, as I have explained earlier, there will be different kind of waste. I have explained 6 type of waste in production. Okay. Obsessive attempts by all department to get the things right first time. Hamoma කැප වෙන්න ඕනි. හැමෝම focus කරන්න ඕනි. We have to do the right thing in the first place. There is no second option. Second option will be there. If you are going for a second option, it will consume time, it will consume additional resources, your man hours are getting waste. I will take an example. Assume if you fail the exam, what will happen? You have to attempt in the next time. It will take another, assume 6 months time. You are wasting your time. If you have passed this examination, you can invest next 6 months to the next level. Think about it. When you are going to keep these, there are 9 elements here. When you keep them in your mind, you have to apply these concepts into your practical scenario. Okay, clear? Customer is the only thing matters. That means customer is the king. As you substitute your in the examination, your objective is to what? Pass the examination is the key. මොනවා කරත් වැඩක් නැහැ අවසානයේ exam එක pass වෙන්න බැයි නම්. Therefore that is the target. Here also in a business organization your target is the customer. Likewise, introduction of quality certification programs. You can take SLS, ISO standards, HACCP, those quality standards can be taken. You can obtain quality certification, ISO certification, SLS certification you can obtain. That means those quality standard will verify whether you meet the required quality requirement. You can maintain the quality of the output or quality of the production. Emphasize on cost of poor quality. If you have to explain to other employees, if you had done produce a poor product or a low quality product, what will happen? අපි හිතමු you are in a manufacturing company, automobile manufacturing company. Okay, you have manufactured a assume inferior car. Inferior car mean assume damaged car. එකේ manufacturing defect එකක් තියෙනවා. If you have identified it, then you have to rework it or sometimes you have to scrap it. It's a huge cost. On the other hand, assume you couldn't identify the manufacturing defect and you release the product to the market. If customer got an accident, then subsequently he has sue against the company, then your reputation will damage. Okay. Therefore, poor quality will damage your reputation and there will be some penalties. There will be some claims against you. Therefore, it is more important to have the better quality product. Those are the 9 key elements in TQM. Okay, I have written down 5 here. There are 9 key elements. There are 9 key elements when you are going to apply total quality management. Quality assurance procedure, how we are going to assure the quality. Is it only relevant to manufacturing? No. TQM says quality assurance should be done, should be maintained in the all activities of an organization. It is not just a production. TQM will address quality management in all aspects of the organization. Therefore, in quality management, mainly look at 2 areas in production environment. Where production environment විතරක්ම නෙමෙයි. It will look at about marketing, delivery, those all the areas, all the activities which related to your organization, you have to maintain the quality, but mainly they will look at, it will look at main 2 aspects, 2 production environment when you are going to assure the quality. Number 1, quality assurance of goods inward. Quality assurance of good inwards mean when you are going to assure the quality of the output depends on the quality of the input. You can't expect a quality output by using cheap material. Clear? උදාහරණ තියෙනවා. හැබැයි සමහර උදාහරණ අරන් කියන්න අමාරුයි මෙතන. Inferior material, if you put inferior material to the production, you can't expect a high quality material. Clear? Maruti එකකට invest කරලා ඒකේ මොරිස් මයින එකක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න බෑ. නැත්නම් අපි කිව්වොත් රෝල්ස් රොයිස් එකක comfortable එක බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න බෑ. Same. Therefore, you have, when you are looking at the inputs, you have to look at the inputs. If the inputs are quality, high quality inputs, you can expect high quality output. You have to look at you have to ensure that you will receive the quality inputs. Quality assurance, the quality of the output depends on the quality of the inputs. If it ensure high quality input to the production, there will be high quality output. High quality input, both high quality output A. That is number one. That is mean prior to the production. To the production, now you have to inspect the production. Inspection of output. Continuous inspection in different stages of processes in production process will require to do necessary correction if required to get the quality output. But remember, we are not going to inspect 100%. If you inspect 100%, it will cost more. There will be higher cost, significant amount of cost. But here I am telling you, no need to check 100%, but randomly check whether the product is meet the required quality standard, whether it meet the required quality standard according to the requirement. Okay. Here it says this won't be 100% check and sample basis will be applied to minimize the cost of inspection. While you are inspecting, inspect කරන්නේ මේ යන output එක. Okay. Therefore, we are going to inspect whether it meet the requirement specified in the standard. Okay. Quality control and inspection. Now, quality control and inspection, there are two different concepts. Inspection එක කරන්නේ production එක උනාට පස්සේ අර හරි ලයිට post mortem එක වගේ. Or inspection carried out while we are doing the production. Ongoing process. But quality control, it will do at the preliminary stage. You will identify the areas which defaults can be happen. Then you will rectify the areas which defects can be happen. Okay. Quality control involves setting controls for the process of manufacture or service delivery. It is aimed to preventing the manufacture of defective items or provision of defective service or inferior service. එතන කියන්නේ you are taking preventive action, but inspection will take the corrective actions. If you prevent, there won't be any correction, but inspection will ensure all the product or service will meet the required quality standards. Inspection is a technique of identifying when defective items are being produced at an unacceptable level. Inspection is usually carried out 3 main points. Inspection එක වෙන points 3කින්. Number 1, receiving inspection. Okay, sometime you might receive the goods. You will inspect the material inwards. Flow or process inspection for WIP. While continuing the process, you will look at whether WIP work in progress also in line with the required standards. Final one, final inspection or testing for finished product. After product being completed, you will check whether the final product is in line with the required standard. Okay, those are the difference between quality standards and quality control and quality inspection. Benefits of TQM. දැන් මේවා අමුතුවෙන් කටපාඩම් කරන්න හදන්න එපා. If you do the right thing first time, දැන් ඔයා හිතන්න මෙහෙම හිතන්න. ඔයා exam එක හරියට කරලා පළවෙනි පාරම පාස් වුණොත් ඔයාලට තියෙන benefit එක මොකක්ද? You will save another 6-month period. That means you won't waste your time, because time is very important in these days. Not these days, every day time is very important. Since there's uncertainty in the environment, we have to complete this task as much as quickly, because we have to enjoy our life. Therefore, you can't do the exam every day. Anyway, you have to learn continuously until you die. You have to learn. But here, benefits of TQM, when you are going to understand them, You have to apply them into the practical life scenario. Number one, benefit of TQM, number one, you can eliminate waste. Time also kind of waste. If you do the same thing again in the next time, you are repeating the exam, you are wasting of time. Elimination of non-value adding activities and processes. There are some non-value adding activities and processes where while you are studying, if you are maintaining proper study process, සමහර වෙලාවට you are not doing any sums, you are not work out anything, you are not write down or notes, just looking at the screen and just spend the time. It won't be a value added time, value added activity. If you want to convert it to a value added activity, you have to write down, highlight whatever the important point you can. This is very important. Sometimes this can be tested in the examination. Therefore, you have to keep in mind, reduce cost. Yes, definitely. If you pass the examination in the first attempt, then there won't be another exam fees in the same subject. Same as a manufacturing company, cost will be reduced if you do the right thing in the first time, no rework, no need to scrap the material, scrap the product and send them. Okay, the cost associated with quality defect will be minimized. Profitability will increase. Now, if you produce an inferior product, assume poor quality product, if it goes to the market, it will have a reputational damage. But if you produce a quality product to the market, demand will go up, your profitability will improve. Since low defect or zero defect, you don't have any cost associated with defects. Reduction in the variability in processes and output to ensure customer satisfaction. We always total quality management. If you maintain the quality of all the processes, you can always deliver the customer requirement while satisfying the customer. Increase staff morale, leading to greater productivity and efficiency. If you predefine if you assign responsibilities to the employees, if you have identified them, proper communication with them, then they will motivated and they will give the best to the company. Increase customer loyalty and hence more repeat purchases will be there. That is very important. If you maintain proper quality, they will regularly maintain. If they will regularly purchase, and we have to maintain the quality, and we have to the total quality management, not only production of quality product, you have to provide additional support service as well. When you are welcoming the customer, when you are asking the customer's requirement, the way you behavior, all matters. The way you have advertised, everything matters. If you have a quality work, or if you have maintained the quality within the premises, within the operation, within marketing, delivery, distribution, manufacturing, all the aspect, all the activities of the company, then it will deliver a quality output. Customers will buying repeatedly. Okay, when we are going to implement quality, when we are going to maintain quality, quality has a cost. Okay, this is very important. One of important aspect in total quality management, cost of quality. Prior to discuss this slide, I will summarize with the diagram. Then it will easy for you to understand. Okay. When you are going to maintain the quality, quality has a cost. We call cost of quality. Cost of quality. How cost of quality arise? cost of quality එන්න පුළුවන් එකක් quality එක follow කරන්න ගියත් cost එකක් එනවා quality එකක් follow කරේ නැතත් cost එකක් එනවා. How? I will explain. Therefore, cost of quality will arise as a two source. What are the two branches are there? Cost of quality we can divide into two. Cost of quality conformance. Cost of quality conformance. Cost of quality conformance and cost of quality non-conformance. Cost of quality non-conformance. Cost of quality conformance and cost of quality non-conformance. Cost of quality conformance and cost of quality non-conformance. Okay. Now cost of quality conformance, what it means? Cost of quality conformance කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Comply with required quality standard or maintain required quality standard. Okay. The cost of quality conformance mean comply with required quality standards. Required quality standards or procedures. Cost of quality conformance mean comply with required quality standards or procedures. Quality conformance කියලා කියන්නේ. Then this cost of quality conformance there are two type of cost of quality conformance. They are called prevention cost and appraisal cost. Prevention cost and appraisal cost. Cost of quality conformance, that mean comply with required quality standards or procedures. There are two, prevention cost and appraisal cost. On the other hand, cost of quality non-conformance, what it means? Cost of quality non-conformance, that means you are not comply with required minimum quality standard. Not complied with or maintain complied with required quality standards or procedures. Required quality standards or procedures. Cost of quality non-conformance. ඒ කියන්නේ quality වලට comply වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ comply වෙන්නේ නැති වුනහම cost එකක් එනවා. What are they? There are two types of cost of quality non-conformance we can identify. There are two. Internal failure cost. Internal failure cost. Other one, external failure cost. Internal failure cost and external failure cost. Okay. Therefore, these are the cost of quality. Now, I will explain one by one and I will give the examples. Okay. Therefore, there are cost of quality, there are two types. Cost of quality conformance, that means comply with required quality standards. When we are going to comply with required quality standards and procedures, there will be two type of cost, prevention cost and appraisal cost. අපි කියන වළක්වා ගැනීමේ පිරිවැය සහ ඇගයුම් පිරිවැය. Appraisal. Cost of quality non-conformance, that mean you have not meet the required quality standards or procedures. If you have not comply with required quality or procedures, there will be two type of cost, that is internal failure cost and external failure cost. Okay, we'll move. What is the meaning of prevention cost? The cost associated with the all activities which designed to prevent poor quality product or service. ඒ කියන්නේ quality failure එකක් වෙන එක වළක්ව ගන්න ඩිසයින් කරලා තියෙන ඕනම activity එකකට යන cost එක අපි කියන prevention cost එක. I will take an example in a prevention cost. In order to eliminate poor quality product, okay, in order to eliminate poor quality product, if you have trained your staff, the training cost of training is a prevention cost. ඒ කියන්නේ poor quality product එකක් produce කරන එක වළක්ව ගන්නවා අරන් තියෙන පියවර මොනවද? Prevention. If you have trained your staff, poor quality product will not produce, won't produce. Then that come under prevention cost. It is a cost of quality conformance. මම ඒ කියන්නේ හැම වෙලේම ensure කරනවා required quality standard එක meet කරනවා කියන එක. If you want to meet the required quality standard, you have to train your staff. That means it's a prevention cost. Okay. Then appraisal cost. What is the meaning of appraisal cost? This appraisal cost also, they need to ensure that we meet the required quality standards and the performance requirement while evaluating our product or service. It might be an auditing, it might be other measurement. Those will perform in order to evaluate whether the particular product or service meet the required quality standard. As an example, quality inspection, that come under appraisal cost. If you I have seen recently in when I have bought the laptop, it says QC. There's a sticker paste in the inside QC. That means quality checked. You ensure that the product is matched with the required quality standard. Definitely, before release the product to the market, they need to check the quality, whether they are working according to the requirement, whether all the functions are accurate. You have to check and release. Therefore, all the cost, all the activity cost related to those activities relating to measuring, evaluating, auditing, to ensure the product meet the required quality standards, that is coming under appraisal cost. Therefore, these two activities are trying to ensure the company is maintaining the required quality standards. Okay, required quality standard. Now, if you are not comply with the required quality standard, non-compliance, what will happen? You are not taking sufficient, you have not taken sufficient action to evaluate or auditing or quality inspection. If you are not doing those things, what will happen? Internal failure cost and external failure cost might arise. What is the meaning of internal failure cost? That means the manufactured product or goods or product is not conformed to the requirement of the customer or the required quality standard before delivered to the customer's location. ඒ කියන්නේ internal failure cost mean the cost resulting from product not conforming to its standards or customer needs prior to deliver them to customer's premises or to the customer. ඔයා මේකේ ඩිෆෙක්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා අයිඩෙන්ටිෆයි කරගන්නවා ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක කස්ටමර්ට ඩිලිවර් කරන්න කලින්. But product is being defected, but it has not been delivered. You have identified it within the premises internally before releasing them into the market. That internal failure cost will result due to the non-conformance to the required quality standard. Okay. But when it comes to external failure cost, you couldn't identify the defect. Defect being identified by the customer. That is the worst case. You have delivered the goods to the customer's doorstep. Customer, that particular product is not meet the requirement of the customer or it is below the required minimum quality standard. Then what will happen? Your reputation will be damaged, customer might sue against you, customer might ask for the claim, customer asks for the warranty claim, customer asks for the repair, lot of cost might arise. Therefore, that is coming under external failure cost. External failure cost. Okay, those are the cost related to the quality, cost of quality. There are four elements of cost of quality: prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure and external failure. Those we have segregated into two: cost of quality conformance and cost of quality non-conformance. There are cost of quality got හතරක් තියෙනවා. There are four types of cost of quality. This is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3 and this is number 4. But I have split them into cost of quality conformance and cost of quality non-conformance. Okay. Okay, that is related to total quality management. A, B and C. A, we have discussed about modern manufacturing environment. Section B have discussed JIT manufacturing. Section C, we have discussed about total quality management. Section D, we are going to discuss about lean manufacturing and Kaizen. Lean manufacturing, you might have heard about. Lean manufacturing, a concept with roots in the production process of Toyota, aims at improving efficiency, eliminating product backlogs and synchronizing production to customer demand rather than a long-term incorrect forecast, long-term forecast. In lean manufacturing, you are not going to forecast in the long term based on the current context you manufacture. You have adjust your manufacturing requirement. The point to note that the lean approach is focused on a production plan based on actual demand rather than production being based on a plan which it is hoped to demand will follow. අපිට තියෙන actual production එකට අනුව තමයි actual demand එකට අනුව තමයි production එක කරන්නේ. We are not going to manufacture what it would be in future. Because sometime you might have produced more than the current demand. Those inventory items will be held in your warehouses or stores. It's like, I assume, look at about Toyota, they are manufacturing automobiles. If they are manufacturing automobiles, if they have manufactured excessive based on the forecast they have made, if the demand has not gone up, what will happen? They have to hold high level of inventory with a high value, high cost. I will take an example. If since they apply lean manufacturing based on the current demand they have manufactured, the kind of pandemic like this, then what will happen? If you have forecast based on your forecast, if you have manufactured, what will happen? you will held up a huge level of inventory. It might be useless and your working capital will be stuck on that.